installing a set of MK9.5 night sights on a Kel-Tec PF9. Turned out pretty good. Anyhow, I've got my second set that I will be installing on another gun. When you get started, patience is a virtue. Everything's tiny and small. Here's the original sights out of the gun. Here's my new housings and nylon inserts. You definitely want to work over a tray so nothing rolls away on you, and you want dark color. Tried to do it on a white plate, you can't see nothing. Here comes the tritium inserts. You got to be careful because they're packed somewhere within this cotton. So there we have it. And you're going to want some plumber's goop. They come in a blue or a purple label. Like that seems to work best. It's resistant to water, salts, oils. Here's the original sights for comparison, and here is the new sights which we'll be assembling. I believe the profile's about the same on them, if not identical. So there you have it. What you want to do is first take your goop, and fresh works the best because it's thinner. I've got an old tube of this in the garage, just really don't work. Toothpick. And here's where you got to be careful, because if you go too far with these inserts, and it may be something you want to test first, a toothpick will easily push them in, but they go in way past the surface mount on most of these. These there, that's just about right on those. That's the original. It goes way down in there. Goes in too far, and then you can't see the white outer ring for your daytime viewing as much, and it also impedes the nighttime viewing. So the idea is when you're done is to have that just right. So I'm going to test these out all first to make sure I don't have no garbage or any burrs down in my holes. Make sure they go in plenty far. And I'm good. They all pretty good there. So what I want to do, and too much glue is what will really get you. Too much glue in these holes makes it harder to push down in, although they do have little bleed holes so you don't get hydraulic lock. That allows the excess glue to come out. When you put them in, don't try to clean the glue up on the same day. Let the glue dry and then come in very carefully with a razor knife and just kind of trim it away. It'll trim away rather easy, and you have to be very careful because you can get into the plastic. With a brand new razor blade, it's real sharp. So, alright, looks like I got a pretty good goop ball down there on the table. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start first by putting a little bit inside my holes here. And I don't want too much, because again, you're going to get hydraulic lock in these for sure. So put a little bit in the hole. Don't take much. Hard part's getting a hold of these. Get it in there. And you want to make sure you only go flush. You don't want to go any further than flush. And I see it trying to pop back out on me there a little bit. Keep an eye on it for a little bit. Sometimes you get a little bit of air pressure in there, and when you release it, it wants to come back out. I'm wiping off some of this excess here. I just don't want too much. Too much, and you can't get it in all the way. So I put a little bit on there just to coat ever so slightly the inside of the hole. Get it on there. That's very good there. I like that one. Alright. Get rid of some of that excess. You only have to wet the hole. It doesn't have to be full down in the groove. This adhesive, it's kind of like a RTV sealer but tackier. Push it in. Like I said, flush. If anything, I would want it ever so slightly hanging out rather than not flush. It makes a big difference in the final assembly at how bright your sights are. It really does. And I see this one starting to creep out a little bit from the air pressure in the back. I think pretty good. Keep an eye on them for a minute, let them tack up, and then we're going to do the same thing in the hole of the night sight housing. So I'll put some in there. I feel a little more comfortable putting a little extra in there because I got the hole in the back. Now I still don't want to put too much in, because you'll see not only does it come out these holes in the back, but even though you can't tell, it appears that the housings are a little bit, that plastic's actually porous and you can't see the holes, but I've had some glue on occasion pop out the top or the side. Like I said, you don't want to do nothing with it the same day until after it's cured. Then you come back in later and kind of trim off a little bit of the excess. So what I'm going to do now, put one in the front. I'm going to push it in, and again, you want to be very careful not to go too far. Now this one's a little harder to push, and you can see the glue starting to come out that little hole down there. And I'll have to kind of hold it until it gets there in place. Let that glue come out that hole. Now when you push, you want to make sure you don't push on the tritium, only on the outside sleeve. You got to be very careful because you push that tritium further. Now the first set I did, and I would recommend this, there we go, is to install your tritium in your nylon sleeves day one, and then day two, oh I don't need no more of that, day two come back in and put your sleeves in here. That way there you can prevent from accidentally getting too far over, because these nylon sleeves are thin, and pushing on that tritium and pushing that vial down in too deep. one more. Also make sure when you push them in here, you got it facing the right direction before you get it started in there. Once it's in, there's no way of getting it back out. That's it. I got a little bit of glue that come out the hole on the bottom. And we'll clean that up tomorrow after it's good and dry. In my next video will be the removal and the installation of them on the gun.